Hi, my name is Lindsay with Fluent TOEFL. In this video, I will guide you through one TOEFL reading passage. If you haven't already, I highly recommend doing my TOEFL reading course before doing this guided practice with me. Because in this guided practice, I'm going to be using all the strategies that are explained in my full reading course. So if you haven't already, do that course. It's about an hour and there's a study guide for you to use as you follow along. The passage we're going to be doing today is from an older TOEFL test, which means that it has 12 questions instead of the 10 that it now has. But hey, more practice for you. You should already know, do not read the whole passage first. You can look at the title just to get an idea, but then you need to go straight to the questions. The title is The Origins of Cetaceans. Maybe you know what origins means, the beginning of something, right? And unless you're a marine biologist, you probably don't know what cetaceans are. But you can see in the very first sentence that they are whales, porpoises, and dolphins. So we're talking about the origins, the beginnings of whales, porpoises, and dolphins. So straight to question 1. In paragraph 1, what does the author say about the presence of a blowhole in cetaceans? What kind of question is this? This is a detail question, also called a factual information question. So we're looking for a detail, a fact in paragraph 1. And if you remember from my full course, what we're going to do is look quickly through the paragraph, looking for the keywords, presence of a blowhole. There it is, our sentence that contains the keywords, presence of a blowhole. We're going to focus on this sentence. The presence of a fluke and blowhole cannot disguise their affinities with land-dwelling mammals. Now, the next step is to predict what the answer is. What does that mean? It means that the presence of a blowhole cannot hide their similarities with land-dwelling mammals. That's my prediction. Now we're going to use that prediction to do the process of elimination on the answer choices. A. It clearly indicates that cetaceans are mammals. That does not align with my prediction. That does not align with the highlighted yellow sentence. So I would eliminate choice A. What about choice B? It cannot conceal the fact that cetaceans are mammals. That's really similar to my prediction. It even uses the word conceal, which is a synonym for disguise. So we're going to keep that one and come back to it. Okay, what about choice C? It is the main difference between cetaceans and land-dwelling mammals. That's very different from my prediction. I said that they have similarities with land-dwelling mammals, not that that is a difference between them, especially not the main difference. So we would eliminate choice C. Okay, what about choice D? It cannot yield clues about the origins of cetaceans. That's not related to our prediction, not at all. So we're going to eliminate that one. And yes, the correct answer is B. It cannot conceal the fact that cetaceans are mammals. Now, I've done this reading passage with a lot of students. Most students don't know the meaning of the word affinities. Many students know the meaning of the word disguise, but affinities is a lot trickier. It's a lot harder. So, can you answer this correctly without knowing the word affinities? Yeah, there's a pretty good chance that you can. How? Because of the process of elimination. It still is one of the most likely answers. Without knowing the word affinities, you can still confidently eliminate choice C and D. And then it's a 50-50 guess between A and B. So your chances are still really good without knowing the word affinities. But now that you know, there you go. Affinities means similarities. It can also mean being really good at something, like I have an affinity for teaching the TOEFL. Okay, moving on to number 2. What kind of question is this? This is an inference question. And if you remember from my course, for inference questions, we answer them in a very similar way to detail questions, aka factual questions, the one that we just answered. But we do have to do a little bit more logical work to find the answers. So our keywords are early sea otters. Let's find the sentence or sentences that contain information about early sea otters in paragraph 1. There it is. Notice that I did not highlight the words in parentheses. Why did I not highlight the words in parentheses? Because that's the definition of pinnipeds, and that's not the purpose of this question. We're not worried about pinnipeds. We're focused on sea otters. So the focus here is, however, unlike the cases of sea otters and pinnipeds, it is not easy to envision what the first whales looked like. We're still going to try to make a prediction. It is more challenging to make a prediction with an inference question, but we're still going to give it a go. We're going to try our best to do a usable prediction. My prediction is that, unlike the cases of sea otters, it is not easy to envision what the first whales looked like. So if it's unlike the cases of sea otters, then that means it is easy to imagine what the early sea otters looked like. Now we're going to use the process of elimination to find the best answer that matches that prediction. Okay, what do you think it is? A is the correct answer. It is not difficult to imagine what they looked like. That matches my prediction, and that has the same meaning as the highlighted sentence. Okay, moving on to number 3. What type of question is this? This is a vocabulary question. We're going to do vocabulary questions quite quickly. You look at the sentence and make a prediction. Although limited to a skull, the Pakicetus fossil provides precious details on the origins of cetaceans. I'm going to predict that precious means something really good, that those details that they have about Pakicetus are important details. Okay, then we choose one of the answers and we try it out in the sentence. So I'm going to choose valuable because it's a good thing, an important thing, something that we like. So I'm going to try that in my sentence. Although limited to a skull, the Pakicetus fossil provides valuable details on the origins of cetaceans. Does that sound right? It does. And that is the correct answer. Number 4, what kind of question is this? This is another detail question, also called a factual information question. Remember, we're going to look for the keywords in the paragraph to find the sentence or sentences that contain those keywords and contain our answer. This one's a little tricky. Our keyword could be similar, but paragraph 3 does not contain the word similar. So I'm going to give you a minute to find the sentence or sentences in paragraph 3 that mention something about Pakicetus and modern cetaceans being similar. There it is. Just a little sneaky sentence. The skull is cetacean-like. Now that we've located our answer, the answer is easy to find in A, B, C, and D. What do you think it is? It is C. If this highlighted phrase sneaks past you, you can depend on the process of elimination because many of these things are specifically mentioned as not similar, like the hearing structures are specifically different. Using the process of elimination, if you don't find the yellow highlighted sentence there, it will take you more time. Number 5. This is another vocabulary question. Again, we're going to do this quickly. We're going to look at the sentence and make a prediction. Another major discovery was made in Egypt in 1989. Several skeletons of another early whale, Basilosaurus, were found in sediments left by the Tethys Sea and now exposed in the Sahara Desert. Okay, so there was once a sea, and now there is no longer a sea. And now the fossils are exposed. I'm going to predict that exposed means that now you can see them because the sea is no longer there. Which of the answer choices fits with that prediction? How about visible? Then we're going to try it out in our sentence to make sure it sounds right. Several skeletons of another early whale were found in sediments left by the sea and now visible in the desert. And yes, that's the correct answer. Number 6. What kind of question is this? This is another detail, factual question, but they're not just asking us for any detail about Basilosaurus. They're asking us, why were the hind legs important? What did scientists learn when they found the hind legs? So our keywords could be hind legs or Basilosaurus or both. Now take a minute to look through paragraph 4 and find the sentence or sentences that contain our answer, that have the information about why the hind legs were important. Here it is. Such legs would have been far too small to have supported the 50-foot-long Basilosaurus on land. So, what's our prediction? It showed us that Basilosaurus could not have walked on land. Now, you use the process of elimination. Do you think it's A, B, C, or D? It is D. If you guess D, you are correct. Number 7. What kind of question is this? This is an inference question. You can see the word inferred right there. This is your second inference question today, so I'm going to let you do this one on your own. Here's where you're going to get the information required for the answer. It says Basilosaurus was undoubtedly a fully marine whale. So, which one did you select? It is D, in a marine environment. Maybe sometimes students choose option C because it mentions the word water, but we don't know if it's necessarily shallow water. And marine means in the water, so D is the better answer. Number 8. This is another inference question. Sometimes it's also called a rhetorical purpose question because they're asking you about the reason the author is doing something. So the question here is asking you, why does the author use the word luckily in mentioning that the Ambulocetus natans fossil included hind legs? Just like with an inference question, we're going to look for the word luckily and do a little bit of logical work in predicting why that is a lucky thing. So read through the paragraph quickly, looking for the word luckily. There it is. Now you want to focus in on this. Remember that the correct answer is going to fit the main idea. Uh, Correct answers don't contradict the main idea. They just don't. But especially for this type of question, because it's about the author's purpose. Now use the process of elimination to choose the best answer. Choice B, the lakes provided important information about the evolution of cetaceans. And remember, that's our main idea. The evolution of cetaceans is the main idea. So B fits very nicely with that main idea. Number 9, what kind of question is this? This is called a sentence simplification question. You're going to get one per passage on the TOEFL, so it's important to be good at these. They're very technical. How do we do these? We look at the sentence and we simplify it. That's the way we make our prediction. Let's read the sentence. The structure of the backbone shows, however, that Ambulocetus swam like modern whales by moving the rear portion of its body up and down, even though a fluke was missing. So a simplification of this could be something like, the backbone shows that it swam like modern whales, even though it doesn't have a fluke. So let's go through one answer at a time for this one. Choice A. Is it right or wrong? Choice A is incorrect because it does have a backbone. It's a fluke that it doesn't have. What about choice B? Is it correct or incorrect? Choice B is incorrect because the backbone does not provide evidence of its missing fluke. What about choice C? Choice C is correct, but let's check out choice D before we discuss the accuracy of choice C. Choice D is incorrect. We know that it did swim like modern whales, not that it swam differently. So let's go back to choice C. Although Ambulocetus had no fluke, its backbone structure shows that it swam like modern whales. Choice C is the same information as the highlighted sentence in the paragraph, just in a different order. So C is the correct answer. Number 10. This is a vocabulary question. I'm going to let you do this one on your own because this is your third one in this passage today. Did you remember to make a prediction? Did you remember to test out your answer by reading the sentence with your chosen answer? The answer is D, moving forward. That's what propulsion means, like in jet propulsion. It means to move the jet forward. But you might also be able to figure it out because that's usually what legs are used for in the water, like when we humans swim in the water. Our legs don't keep us afloat, they help us move forward. Number 11. This is an insert text question. How do we do these? If you remember from my full course, you really want to pay attention to any clues for what must come before the sentence and or for what must come after. So, where are our clues in the sentence here? Our clue is the word this. It says, this is a question. This is a reference word. It is referring back to the previous sentence. So before this sentence, it must mention a question or be a question. So using that information, where would you place the sentence? A, B, C, or D? If you answered B, you are correct. It is choice B. It says, this is a question that has puzzled scientists for ages, and so it has to come after the question of how was the gap between a walking mammal and a swimming whale bridged? Number 12, this is the last question. At the end of every passage, you're going to get a summary question like this, or you might instead get a table question where you have to complete a table. Both summary questions and table questions are about the main idea. They're about the whole passage. Summary questions are more common than table questions. Do not be intimidated. Do not be scared by summary questions. They look very challenging, but they're not as hard as they look. The most important things to remember for summary questions, there are 3 right answers and 3 wrong answers. The order of the right answers does not matter. So if the answer is 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter if you click 3, 1, 2. Wrong answers can be wrong because they are not factual, or they can be wrong because they're factual, but they are not the main idea. They are a minor detail. Remember that all 3 correct answers are the main idea. So remember what the title of the passage was. That's the main idea. It's the origins of cetaceans. And then they give you a bold sentence here that will remind you what the main idea is. It might feel like your 3 answer choices are repetitive, like they're all talking about the origins of cetaceans. That's good. That's normal. So let's look at the sentence in bold. This passage discusses fossils that help to explain the likely origins of cetaceans, whales, porpoises, and dolphins. Now we're going to go through all these answer choices and decide if they are correct or incorrect. Number 1, do you think it's correct or incorrect? Do you think it should be part of our summary? Number 1 is factually true, and it's not a minor detail. It's the main idea. So we do want to include it. It's about the evolution, the link between land mammals and cetaceans. Now, choice 2. Should choice 2 be included in our summary? Yes, we want to include choice 2 as well because it's factually true and it's the main idea. What about choice 3? We do not want to include choice 3. It is an incorrect choice. Is it factually correct? Yes, choice 3 is factually correct. But we don't want to include it in our summary because it's a minor detail. The focus of this sentence is the location in which the fossil was found. The location is a minor detail, it's a small detail. It's not the main idea about the origins of cetaceans, about the evolution from sea to land. What about number 4? We do not want to include choice 4. It is incorrect. It is true, it's factually true, but it's not the main idea. It's a minor detail. It's a small detail. The focus of number 4 is the age of the fossil, that it was the oldest. But that's not important to the main idea of the origins of cetaceans. Okay, what about number 5? Do we want to include number 5 in our summary? Yes, we do. It's factually correct, and the focus is the main idea, the transition between walking mammals and swimming whales. And the last one, we know it has to be wrong because of the process of elimination. We need 3 right answers and 3 wrong answers. This one, again, is factually true, but it is a minor detail because it's simply about how the legs were used in water. It's not about the transition. It's not about the origin of cetaceans. Thank you so much for working so hard with me today. Please like and subscribe and share. It helps me make more videos like this for you.